It seemed like a scene from a movie that was playing out in the antebellum South. It can't be 2020 and a group of white men are dragging me to a tree.
Cameras capture a horrifying scene near an Indiana lake over the 4th of July weekend. A group accused of attempting to lynch a black man. RTV6 is shedding light by helping him tell his story. And a top school leader now working for change after Call 6 Investigates discovered the disparity in discipline for black students at Indy public schools. How things could change for school police and curriculum. And it's a high-profile area of downtown getting a low and dirty treatment inside the fight to stop the never-ending mess.
This is RTV6 News at 5, working for you.
Thank you for joining us. I'm Amanda Starrentino. RTV6 is working to hold leaders and decision makers accountable for a startling incident we have been alerted to. An Indiana man, a Monroe County Human Rights Commissioner, attacked and allegedly nearly lynched. This was caught on camera, and we're told there were numerous witnesses. Call 6 Investigates Stephanie Wade is finding out what happened and why there have been no arrests yet.
Tonight, many city and county officials are speaking out after a series of videos go viral, shared thousands of times. The videos show several men holding a black man against a tree with his arms behind his back, allegedly threatening to lynch him.
They started dragging me towards a tree, got me pinned down, and started pounding on my body. It was you could feel the anger and the intent to try to hurt me.
Guys, get the let him go. Get your phones out here and go. Shake your head at me and go. Get the out of here.
In disbelief is how Vox Booker says he felt when men were seen holding him against his will, shouting white power and other racial slurs.
You nappy-headed bitch.
What do you want to call me?
About this? You with your 5 white friends?
Booker says he and some friends went to watch the lunar eclipse on the 4th of July at Lake Monroe. A group of men informed them the route they were taking to get to the public access beach was on private property. But then things got hostile, leaving Booker with a minor concussion, abrasions, and patches of hair ripped out. What saved his life, he says, were his friends along with bystanders that heard the commotion and demanded the attackers let him go, refusing to leave. Booker called the police and the Department of Natural Resources came, but no arrests were made at the scene. The Bloomington city clerk calling for this to be investigated and charges made.
My heart is breaking for our town. This is Bloomington. And I know people like to say that things like that don't happen in Bloomington. They do. They happen a lot.
In Bloomington, I'm Call 6 Investigates Stephanie Wade.
And neither the Monroe County Prosecutor's Office nor the DNR have responded to WRTV's request for comment. To view the Bloomington Mayor's full statement, visit our website at theindychannel.com. An Indianapolis Public Schools Commissioner is taking action to address discipline disparities in our classroom. It's a problem Call 6 Investigates brought to light last fall, that black students are more likely to be disciplined at school and even arrested. Our Kara Kenny joins us now with a new proposal in the works.
Data shows black students make up 12% of the state's student population, yet they comprise 26% of arrests on school property. An IPS commissioner says it's time to break that cycle. Indiana ranks 4th highest in the country when it comes to the rate of out-of-school suspensions for black teens in middle and high school. It's a problem Call 6 Investigates first exposed in November. IPS Commissioner Vanita Moore's proposal would require all IPS police officers attend racial equity training and ensure IPS prohibits employing officers with a history of excessive force or discrimination complaints.
My belief is that one of the reasons why we have so much crime in our city and so many things that happen within my community is because a lot of times our children have no hope. If you have no hope, you have no future. Education is that link for hope.
She said George Floyd and the resulting protests prompted her to take action. Commissioner Moore's plan would launch a curriculum review, including civil rights education and training for students.
And so I'm about pushing it forward and making sure that our kids have a chance, make sure that my grandkids and my great-grandkids will still be here and will be able to be prosperous and be able to succeed and do things greater than myself.
Commissioner Moore says declining graduation rates among black students combined with increasing expulsion and suspension rates are creating a crisis that needs to be addressed. Reporting in Indianapolis, Kara Kenny, RTV6.
And Commissioner Moore plans to work with the administration to come up with a plan within the next 90 days. Earlier this month, the board approved a new racial equity policy to address racism. It aims to better support the district's most vulnerable communities. And RTV6 is working to acquire the police body camera video that will show more about what led up to Muncie officers shooting and killing a man who may have been going through some mental health issues. This happened early Sunday morning. Muncie officers responded to a call of possible suicidal person and found 30-year-old Taylor Warner sitting in a car. Officers said as they approached the car, Warner got out holding what they assumed was a gun and pointed it at one of the officers. Police say he refused to drop the item, and that's when they fired. Warner later died at the hospital. The item in his hand turned out to be a BB gun. Investigators say he also had a butcher knife. Kevin, we just heard the thunder and lightning right outside the RTV6 studios. What are we looking at?
It looks like it's 9 o'clock, doesn't it? Instead of just after 5 o'clock. And this is a whole lot brighter than just a little bit ago. JW Marriott looking over toward White River in the Indianapolis Zoo. If you look closely, you see the large raindrops. They almost look like snowflakes. They're so big. 88, that's our temperature. Wind out of the northeast. We've cooled off. We hit at least 92 before the downpours. We've got one downpour, 70 and 465 on the east side. Right over downtown. Then on the west side, Hendricks, Marion County line will bring a closer look. This is torrential rainfall. Won't last all that long, but you get a quick half-inch or more. There's the rain in the downtown area. Then just north of the airport, we'll close in on Speedway 465 area. You can see the rain to the northwest. These hit and miss downpours will continue until we get closer to the sunset. Here's the big picture. You see how they dot the landscape. Finally, a break from the heat in the 7-day forecast that'll be unveiled shortly.
The Indiana Fever players were supposed to be leaving for Florida to begin their WNBA season today, but that has been pushed back after 2 Fever players tested positive for COVID-19. The team did not say which players had been infected, but said the team is expected to arrive at IMG Academy later this week. The academy is in Bradenton, Florida. That's where the WNBA is scheduled to play its entire abbreviated season. And in the latest numbers released by the state, 5 more deaths from COVID-19 were reported today. Typically, reported numbers of deaths and cases are lower on Mondays due to weekend reporting. To date, 2,505 Hoosiers have lost their lives due to the virus. There are 330 additional reported cases of coronavirus. It's been a gradual increase in daily cases the past week. So far, 48,331 Hoosiers have been diagnosed with COVID-19. And many states in the U.S. continue to see major surges in coronavirus infections. Hospitals are reaching capacity, and health experts are concerned after seeing video of people getting very social and not so distant. ABC's Rena Roy has the latest.
New video out of Nashville shows partiers shoulder to shoulder without masks over the holiday weekend, as a billboard reminds people of the citywide face mask requirement. Local officials trying to tackle the staggering 15% daily rate of positivity.
The number of cases continue to rise in many parts of the country, so that's an ongoing concern.
Thousands also headed to beaches across the country to celebrate July 4th. In Diamond Lake, Michigan, hundreds partied without face coverings or social distancing. And some in Jacksonville, Florida, even protested the city's mask mandate. With a 26% positive infection rate, Miami-Dade now closing restaurants and gyms as officials urge young people to be vigilant.
The age that has the most cases in the state of Florida is age 21. Just because you're 21 and you may not have significant symptoms, that does not mean that you can't infect other people. And I think that that's something that we're obviously concerned about.
37 states are seeing an increase in cases. Arizona becoming the 8th to surpass 100,000 cases, with ICUs at 89% capacity. In Houston, Texas, one hospital reports the ICU capacity is at 98%.
We deserve PPE.
Nurses at another Houston facility protesting over a lack of protective gear and slim staffing.
We feel that we're working with an unsafe environment.
This as the country's former epicenter, New York City, makes progress in reopening. The governor warning people to avoid another surge.
New York City goes into phase 3 today. No indoor dining, but there are rules on phase 3, right? It doesn't mean go out and have a party.
Now, as some scientists across the globe urge the WHO to consider that the virus could be airborne, officials are hoping for an effective vaccine.
So we hope as we go along that by the end of this year or the beginning of 2021, we will at least have an answer whether the vaccine or vaccines, plural, are safe and effective.
And a new report from the New York Times based on CDC data highlights the racial disparity of COVID, saying Black and Latino Americans are 3 times as likely to become infected and nearly twice as likely to die from the virus compared to white Americans. The paper had to sue to get the data, which is an analysis of more than 500,000 cases. Rena Roy, ABC News, New York.
It's like a bad dream this downtown spot just cannot wake up from. Cleaned up one day with another mess to tackle the next morning. Still ahead, frustrated community members in their fight to keep things tidy. And a high demand for one company's services paired with a high demand for good jobs during the pandemic. That makes for great opportunity. Coming up in Hiring Hoosiers on RTV6.
Made right in America.
It's a problem business owners say keeps getting worse. Excessive litter, fights, and even human waste on the sidewalks outside of City Market and around Monument Circle. We first told you about this on Friday. Since then, we've heard from more business owners frustrated and dealing with the same issues. RTV6's Megan Sanctorum took their concerns to city leaders and IMPD.
Business owners at City Market tell us most mornings look like this. Trash everywhere. Outdoor furniture vandalized. Maintenance crews left to clean up the mess each and every day. But even after the trash has been picked up, business owners say the problems continue. During the day, it doesn't take long to see a drug deal happening or people openly using drugs and congregating in large groups. Business owners say it's gotten to the point where it's keeping customers away.
I've had clients cancel because they said they drove around looking for parking and they thought it looked so disgusting. They said, sorry, we love you, but we can't come in there.
Brenda Barrett owns Jack's Barber Shop. She says in the 14 years she's been at City Market, she's never seen anything like this. Some business owners on the Circle say they're hearing the same thing from customers.
They don't want to come to my business right now because of how much traffic I got just sitting around my cart right now of basically just homeless people constantly soliciting them. And it goes beyond soliciting now.
IMPD met with City Market leaders and some business owners last week. They encouraged them to add more lighting, hire more security, and officers are stepping up their patrols in the area as well. They think the pandemic has led to the closure of some resources the homeless population often uses, and that could be a contributing factor.
And I think as we see downtown open back up, I think we'll see that concentration kind of dilute itself as they have more resources to go to.
He says their officers are also working to get to know some of the people here experiencing homelessness and help connect them with social services and resources they may need. Working for you, Megan Sanctorum, RTV6.
And a representative for the mayor's office said they are working with IMPD and business owners to, quote, foster a safe, welcoming space for residents and visitors. We asked if they have scheduled any meetings with business owners on this topic, but have not heard back yet. RTV6's Hiring Hoosiers is committed to helping you and your family find work available throughout the year. Our Lauren Casey got an inside look at how one Central Indiana business saw a surge in demand during the pandemic. The logistics company is also changing the way they do things in-house to protect workers from COVID-19.
I'm in our cooler build area, so there's a lot of coolers, ice, and gel.
Fran Bankhead is a team leader at Plainfield logistics company MD Logistics.
Make sure that our customers get their medicine and it's conditioned right and everything's okay.
She's been with the company since 2018.
It feels more of like a family versus a job.
But when the pandemic hit, Fran was worried she may have to choose between her real family or her work family.
But MD reassured me that put my family first. So I was able to take that time off and still come back to my job, and everything was just great. So they've been helping us whenever they can. They've been empowering us.
The third-party logistics provider customizes supply chain solutions for the customers they serve. From manufacturing all the way to the final distribution, MD Logistics gets the goods where they need to go. The company focuses mainly on life science products like medications, and they also work with personal care products.
Because we were considered essential, we were able to keep our people working and continue servicing and providing medicine for those patients.
Emily Gerbers is the Director of Business Development. She tells me that there was a lot of pivoting and shifting of the supply chain due to COVID-19, with a surge of more orders online delivered directly to consumers and a shift away from brick and mortars. And now the company is adapting to this new normal, and they're hiring in a wide range of positions to keep up.
What are you looking for in particular in a prospective employee?
We're most definitely looking for motivated individuals that can be at work every day, that cares about their job and the products that we send out.
Jennifer Sanders works in human resources. She says positions include internships, team leads, equipment operators, general labor like picking, packing, and auditing, and managerial roles. And that MD Logistics is taking their new safety protocols seriously for those who work here.
We are keeping our employees 6 feet apart. We are encouraging them to wear masks on a daily basis.
We've increased all of our cleaning protocols. We've been doing temperature checks since March, I believe. To Jennifer's point, if we don't have, if we can't be socially distanced, we are wearing masks. But for the most part, the majority of our folks who are able to work remote are still working remote.
And for the team leaders like Fran, the safety precautions, the family atmosphere, and the work that gets life-saving medications into the hands of people in our community keep her coming back each day.
That helps me come to work every day, knowing that I'm impacting somebody's life in a good way.
Well, hope you had a good weekend. We had our thunderstorms yesterday, and they fired up again today like clockwork around 1 o'clock with the afternoon heating. Switched the view on you. At the top of the newscast, we were looking west. Now we're looking north, straight up Meridian. Still some downpours within Marion County. There's finally a hint of a change in the 7-day forecast. Next 3 days, not much of a change. Back to temperatures lower 90s, those heat index values warmer than that, and our daily chance for afternoon thunderstorms. Then as we get to Friday and the end of the week, we'll cool down. Follow the lightning, that's where you'll find the heaviest rain right now, but you see south of Crawfordsville, between Frankfort and Delphi, northeast of Kokomo, but we'll head into Marion County here first. Northeast side, headed toward Geist, Fortville, McCordsville area, maybe Fishers. This downpour in Castleton pushing slightly to the north and east. What was right over downtown has fizzled. This has grown back west, as you can see, along 36 Rockville Road out into Hendricks County between Brownsburg, Avon, and the airport. That's heavy rainfall. You may see gusts 40 to 50 miles per hour and possibly some pea-sized hail in some of these stronger storms. You see all those thunderstorms, and then they're gone. It's a 45-minute cycle. As soon as it starts to heavy rain, that's also the collapse of that thunderstorm. Doesn't mean another one won't develop along the line. And you can see the temperature hunk that's been taken out of the 90s. We're at 88 in Indy, 82 in Lafayette, 81 in Muncie. Well, you don't have rain. You've got 92 in Peru, 93 right now in Bloomington. Between 7 and 11. Isolated thunderstorms continue, any one of which with some gusty winds and heavy rainfall. The trend, though, for those to fade away. They come back tomorrow afternoon. Temperatures will be back into the lower 90s. 7 a.m., warm, dry. 1 o'clock in the afternoon, the hint of the development of thunderstorms. Then they become more widespread in the afternoon hours. Give you plenty of time here to look at the 7-day forecast, because after temperatures in the 90s Thursday, two things happen. More widespread thunderstorms Friday ahead of a cold front. I hesitate to say cold because it's not really going to bring cooler temperatures or colder temperatures. It would bring somewhat cooler temperatures. Thunderstorms likely Friday, 86 by Sunday. Monday will be at 85 with lows back into the mid-60s. But there's your chance for thunderstorms all 7 days.
2020 sure does seem to be bringing a lot of heightened risk to the table when it comes to your health. Why experts are calling this summer the perfect storm of a tick season. Still ahead when the news continues on RTV6.
Sackler and Keller. Right now.
Right now on RTV6, starting this week, masks will be required in Marion County to stop the spread of the coronavirus. If you do not have a mask, there are free ones available at the Julia M. Carson Transit Center in downtown Indianapolis. You can pick one up from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. today through Friday and from 9 to noon on Saturday while supplies last. You can also sign up for free face coverings at indy.gov/masks. Between a mild winter and plenty of new hikers on the trails this summer, ticks pose an especially high threat this season. The director of the Lyme Disease Research Group is calling it the perfect storm. The CDC reports around 30,000 cases of Lyme disease each year, but says the true number may be about 10 times more than that this year. Doctors say if you are hitting the trails, be sure to use bug spray. That's at least 30% DEET. Wear light-colored clothing so ticks are easier to spot, and cover as much skin as possible. Doctors say symptoms for Lyme disease are very similar to those of COVID-19. All new at 6 p.m. after a fireworks accident, their home caught fire through no fault of their own. Now, how RTV6 is working to connect this family with the help they need. And to make a big difference, sometimes you just need the efforts of one person. How this Indiana teacher made her mark on the fight against COVID-19, still ahead when the news continues at 5:30 on RTV6.